Hello, my name is Thomas Wilson, and today we have interactive learning video number 6. So we have the equations y equals 4x and y equals x cubed, and we're going to rotate those two. We're going to find the area under those two equations and rotate that about the y-axis for values where x is above 0, and we're going to find the volume of when we rotate that area. So the equation for volume is 2 pi integral from a to b of shell radius times shell height dx if you're using the shell method, which we're going to be using in this video. So this is just a drawing of the graph we have. This is our y equals x cubed, and this is our graph y equals 4x. And so this is the area. The area between those two is what we have, and we're going to be rotating that about the y-axis, and we're going to be finding the volume of that using shell method. So using shell method, we need to know the shell height and the shell radius, and so the height is just going to be equal to the top equation, top line minus the bottom line. So we have 4x minus x cubed, and then our radius is just going to be equal to x, and the limit is going to be from 0 to 2 because we're going to set the equations equal to each other and solve for x, and we get that they intersect at x equals 2. And this is just showing that they intersect at x equals 2. So we have 4x equals x cubed, and then you're just going to bring them both over and set it equal to 0, take out an x, factor that out, and you're going to get x plus 2, x minus 2, and x. So you get 0, 2, and negative 2. But since we're solving for values of x greater than 0, you can just cross off the negative 2 because that's not what we're going to be using. Alright, so now that we have our values for height, radius, and limit, we can just plug everything into the formula. So you're going to get volume is going to be equal to 2 pi, 0 to 2, because that's our limits that we solve for, and then x because that is our shell radius, and then 4x minus x cubed because that is our shell height, like I said earlier. So now we're just gonna integrate. So the first step is to factor over the x because it's easier to just take the integral once everything is factored out. Okay, and then once you've done that, you can just take the integral. So the integral of 4x squared is 4x cubed over 3, and the integral of x to the 4th is x to the 5th over 5. And this is all from 0 to 2 still, and multiplied by 2 pi. Okay, so now we're just going to plug in, since we have everything, we have the integral and everything's in the simplest form, we're just going to plug in our values. So plug in our 2 for our x, and we're going to get 2 pi times 4 times 2 cubed over 3 minus 2 to the 5th over 5. And since you're subtracting the big value, so for x equals 2 minus x equals 0, but if we were to plug in 0, we would just get 0. We get 0 minus 0, which is 0. 2 pi times 0 is 0, so I didn't even include it. So then once you multiply this out, you're left with 2 pi times 32 over 3 minus 64 over 5, and you're just going to get that over a common denominator of 15. So multiply this by 5, multiply this by 3, and you're left with 2 pi times 64 over 15, and when you multiply that out, you're left with 128 pi all over 15, and that's your final answer. So it's easy to solve for the volume of revolution by using shell method.